What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Ace of Base. And we're continuing through the bonus material in the expanded folder for the 1998 album Flowers. Shout out to all the folks who've been following this deep dive. And indeed, I wanted to mention my plan is to accelerate the Ace of Base deep dive a little bit. At the very least, I'm going to try to do them fortnightly, perhaps in some cases even more regularly than that, like every 10 days or so. So yes, bear with me, but my plan is to speed up the Ace of Base journey a little bit. In any case, the next tune we're going to listen to is the big bonus mix of Cruel Summer. So I mentioned when I reacted to the normal Ace of Base version that I was aware it was a Bananarama cover. I wasn't sure if I had heard the Bananarama original, but I enjoy the Ace of Base normal version. It has a bit of that 90s Madonna R&B meets synth pop type sound. I enjoyed the mellow sonics even though it had a danceable groove. So given that it's called the big bonus mix, I'm expecting the sonics maybe to be a bit more robust, perhaps more dance floor oriented. I suppose we'll find out. Let's give it a listen. This is Ace of Base, Cruel Summer, the big bonus mix, and of course, as I said, it's based off originally a Bananarama tune.
House on the streets
Well, so definitely a bigger and more expansive and energetic arrangement of sonics, definitely more dance floor, sort of has a dance club type of feel, but also some moments that hint at the reggae stylings, the keyboard chords. There's one part in particular where it stood out to me, and then that came back around later. Also a bit of a samba feel with the brass and the just the like Latin flavorings. I will say also the like secondary melody in the chorus, like in the first time around it had the brass, and then the second time around it had this like edgy hard synth playing the same role. And so I like the way the specific sonic ingredients of the chorus were dynamic over the course of the tune, and I enjoy the busier sound of the track. I think again the original version, not original in terms of there being it being their own song, but the normal Ace of Base version, I like that sort of mellow. Again, it had a bit of a danceable groove to it, but it was definitely more low key and smooth with a bit of that R&B feel. But this was more, get up, get your feet moving, get your fist pumping in the air, but with some folk music or like traditional music styling. So I like the recipe in this one. And yes, again, I enjoy the vocals. There's a couple points where we hear both female vocals, which I like the synthesis when we hear that dynamic. And again, the hearing the same tune in different configurations is always enjoyable to me. Again, I come from the world of like techno and trance, where typically you buy a track that's named under the original mix of the release, and then there's like two or three other mixes, and so you get different takes on the same piece. And so obviously, especially with this being a dance floor, like four to the floor techno pumping kind of tune, it feels like that. It feels like, okay, so here's another way to think of this tune, or here's another articulation of this tune. And I think Big Bonus Mix is an apropos name, because it definitely has a grander and more intense feel, not in a bad way, but just in a more energetic type of configuration. So yeah, looking forward to the next one, which I believe is a demo called Hallo Hallo. So yes, I don't think I've reacted to any tune by that name, so presumably this is a demo that never quite, made it to album proper, but ultimately I'm keen. Again, some bands I've been going through demos where, I've gone through all their albums and so on, and it's really interesting to hear tracks that were begun, that were developed, but that they eventually put back on the shelf and didn't include until, years later on a deluxe edition. And I think it gives a real insight into the creative process of a given group. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.